has ruled against a Geneseo man's request to temporarily halt all of New York's COVID mandates. Michael Strong says it's unlawful to make distinctions between vaccinated and unvaccinated individuals. But the judge ruled Strong had not shown evidence of irreparable harm, which he said was necessary for the temporary restraining order Strong was requesting. In fact, the judge said Strong only showed evidence of minor inconveniences, like when wearing a mask at the gym or to sell produce at a farmer's market.
News 10 NBC on the radio. Weekdays at 5 a.m., noon, 5, 6, and 11 on the WYSL stations.
Now, an hour of clarity for exhausted people of our nation mired in toxic partisanship. Left versus right. Us versus them. While we pay to keep our politicians fighting, how do we, the people, rise up and solve the great challenges of our time? We do it by embracing freedom and liberty. There may be no such thing as a free lunch, but this hour is as close as it gets. Welcome to A Free Solution.
Welcome to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson, your host today, joined by Tim, the Freedom Variant, O'Connor.
All right, this is great, man. We haven't been able to do a live show like this in
I know we haven't done a live Friday show in a while. No, so like it happened to work out. We could both do it. Well, I couldn't do one, like the pre-record we sometimes do on Thursdays last night. So it's got my mom in town. So shout out mom in case she's listening to a show. She's downstairs watching The Boy right now.
Now, does your mom listen to the show? Because my mom does not listen to me.
She does. She does listen
cool.
to the show. So once in a while, get a message about it or talk about it after. But my parents got me into following politics when I was younger. So
did they really?
They did. I know. Terrible thing for them to do to me. Right?
I know. I think I might have done that to my children as well, and I feel kind of bad about it. Like I follow them around on social media and be like, "Look, I'm on TikTok now," and they're like, "Oh please, man. Twitter, don't follow me, Dad. Don't even. Just leave me alone." It's horrible.
You can be a TikTok star. It's great.
I am definitely getting the Chinese bots following me on TikTok. They're doing a great job. They are. Every day I get a couple new ones. I feel really good about that.
Right on, man.
Yeah, I did want to kind of to open the show, guys. I hope you don't mind. I gave out the wrong WYSL.com. It is not WYSL.com. It is WYSL1040.com. And hopefully, if I'm wrong, let's correct that record right now before we go too much further.
No, you're right. WYSL1040.com. Great place to find, the podcast.
They have a bunch
and I say we are live on WYSL, folks listening on the radio right now. So, of course, you can call in. Give us a call, 585-346-3000. That's 585-346-3000. And shout out on the line to our friends over at WACK and all the places listening online, too. You all know who you are. We got like 10 of them today.
We're doing great, man. So another thing that I want to kind of talk about, I think it's an important subject, is that like the New York State healthcare guidelines came out and said, look, if you have, if you're Black or Hispanic, you have a comorbidity associated with COVID, and we'll put you up on the list higher than someone that doesn't. And I want to be clear that I'm completely comfortable with that notion that if having more pigment in your skin or for whatever reason, but they didn't even mention American Indians, which those people are having the worst go of COVID. You can check out the CDC website if you don't believe me, but check my receipts. I always say that, check my receipts. That's what the kids are saying. But our humanity demands that if you have diabetes, right, you get bumped up the list on receiving treatments for COVID. And I'm completely comfortable with that. If having pigment in your skin or some other genetic component is a piece of your success story or problematic developments with COVID, we as human beings should be clear with that. But we can still dislike the government communication on it, and that's what the point that I wanted to make.
Right, sure. And like that's the important like distinction to make, right? Like a lot of times when they talk about like risk factors associated with COVID and race, like what they actually mean are social factors. And so like things like diets, access to like healthcare in an area, etc. Like things that might not necessarily apply if you happen to have black skin and you're living in like an upper middle class neighborhood and you have like a stable like income. But a lot of times, like what they mean by that is they actually mean social factors that we associate with race right now. And there's really good discussion on like other podcasts. And I'm not the best guy to speak about this, but like Camille from the Fifth Column podcast talks about this stuff a lot.
Yeah.
And like, there's the most recent episode, and they started talking about this, and again, like what the actual risk factors are related to COVID, related to race. And if it is like a physiology thing, like there's an actual association with, not race itself, because race is a social construct, but with African heritage or Native American heritage, and that does in some certain cases, the family lineage does like leave you more exposed to disease, and that's a valid factor to consider in terms of like treatment and resources directed towards like whatever public health measure. But if it's again a social construct, then like attack the actual problems, right? The actual problems are like poverty, lack of access to healthcare systems for lots of complicated reasons, diets, whatever.
Yeah, look, I don't want to sound like a lunatic here, right? But I talked to a biochemistry professor that's Harvard trained that said, look, that a real risk factor may be the amount of pigment that you have in your skin. And guys, like that,
if there's something to that, then yeah,
that should be, I think it should be okay for us to have that conversation and not turn it into the woke patrol from the government, man. And I want my friends, all of my friends, to do their best to mitigate their risk associated with COVID. That's what I want, right?
Yeah, I mean that's what everyone should do, right? Again, keep yourself informed, right? And again, if that's what it is, if like the actual pigment in your skin like is a risk factor, and again not associated with other social factors, then yeah, okay, like act accordingly.
Right. So that's, I'm glad that we got a chance to kind of talk about this, because I think it's important that we maintain this level of clarity about it and communications, and everybody, like you have to calculate your personal risks of having problems with COVID. And that's at this moment, I want to segue into welcoming the Atlantic to the crazy conspiracy theory that masks on children may not work. Joe Rogan was already there. Bill Maher has already been there. But now the Atlantic, they printed one article back in December, and now they've doubled down on their obnoxious belief that children should not be masked.
I heard Joe Rogan got canceled. Neil Young was threatening to remove his music from Spotify, and now Joe Rogan's done, right? I assume that's how it all turned out.
That is not exactly how it played out.
It didn't? Well, that's shocking.
No, but look, Nickelback is threatening to keep their music on Spotify if they don't take down Joe Rogan.
Hey, listen, high school, love Nickelback. I got no hate for Nickelback. No, I don't
understand why people hate them.
No, it's because they were popular, but and because they're Canadian. We're going to talk about the Canadians later today.
Oh, Canadians, they're in such a mess.
But anyway, I totally derailed where you're going to go with this conversation. The Atlantic mask. Okay, go.
All right. So back in December, the Atlantic said the the science editor, David Zwig of the Atlantic, came out with the argument that the CDC's flawed case for wearing masks in school, basically stating that claim is based on very shaky science. And I think that
we talked about that Wednesday too, except for I said the FDA because I'm not that smart.
Okay.
So and so I meant the CDC. So if you're listening to that show because you have to catch it on the podcast because I didn't do the stream right. When I'm saying FDA, then I mean CDC.
Correct. So that's an important correction as well, because we need to get our alphabet soup letters correct, or else who knows what's going to happen when we get canceled, right?
Yeah, that's right.
But then now, just the other day, Kevin, on January 26th, the Atlantic, and look, I'm making jokes about the Atlantic being alt-right and right-wing conspiracy loons, but they are definitely not that. They were incredibly anti-Trump. Most of the cases that they make are very liberal, government solves a lot of problems kind of things. And they're effective at making the case sometimes. Like, I don't always hate exactly what they say. But so they're basically saying it made sense in 2020, right? They have authors Marguerite Smelkinson, Leslie Beenan, and Jean Noble. And Jean is the emergency medicine doctor at UCSF, and Leslie is the Portland State University School of Public Health. Well, she's a veterinarian, so I don't know. Like, all right, that's a little sketchy. But Marguerite Smelkinson, though, is an infectious disease scientist whose research has focused on influenza and SARS-CoV-2. So these people are legitimate. Legitimate. And guys, I'm telling you, like with the Joe Rogan podcast and stuff like that, the people that he's talking to are legitimate. The conclusions that they may be trying to get you to infer may or may not be legitimate, but they're legitimate people that should be talking about science, and we should be able to be listening to them without the threats, without Neil Young threatening to trying to bully Spotify into getting rid of Joe Rogan. That really didn't work out well for him, I'll be honest.
No, it did not at all. I mean, again, I don't listen to Joe Rogan that much. Like he's interesting. Occasionally, if there's an interesting guest on, I'll catch it. I ain't got time to listen to a 3-hour podcast every day. I'm not gonna lie. But anyway, you have time for an hour podcast though with a free solution. Remember, you can always catch that later. But if you want to participate in today's show, give us a call, 585-346-3000. That's 585-346-3000. We'll be back with more on a free solution in just a few minutes. Talk to you soon.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Inside the Taylor Laboratories.
Hey, Tony, what you doing?
A little experiment, Zach. Look what I have under the microscope.
Ugh, what's that?
A sample of indoor air.
How can it be that dirty? Don't AC and furnace filters help?
Only with dust, Zach. But when Taylor installs a whole house APCO air purifier to detox the air, odors, chemicals, mold, bacteria, and viruses are removed.
For clean indoor air.
Yep. Ain't science awesome?
Taylor, 500 help.
As a veteran of the United States military, I can finally get the opportunity to enjoy special events, things that we couldn't afford, thanks to VetTix. Every empty seat at a concert, a game, or a play is a missed opportunity to say thanks to a veteran and service member. We can give our veterans a special event where they too can create their own cherished memories. Visit vettix.org. Find out how you can make a difference in a veteran's life.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the Best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
A free solution.
Welcome back to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Lucios today, joined by Tim, the Freedom Variant O'Connor. Happy Friday, everyone. And again, hello to everyone listening today. You know, Got a couple comments. Gene saying good afternoon. Timothy saying hi, waving at us. Appreciate y'all being here. And again, if you want to participate in the show, leave those comments. Let us know what you think, or give us a call. 585-346-3000. That's 585-346-3000. If you're listening online, you can see a number scrolling. That number works too. 866-552-1009. Both of those are just fine. Give us a call if you want to participate. All right, so Tim, where are we going next?
Keep on rocking in a free world, Kevin. That's Neil Young's tagline, man. Keep on rocking in a free world. Like, freedom of speech doesn't matter anymore if your feelings are hurt or whatever. And look, man, I am not saying that the information offered on the Joe Rogan podcast is 100% accurate for every single person out there, but it is an important discussion. It's look, even Bill Maher is saying, look, I'm done, man. This COVID stuff, it's got to slow down. The government has gone too far. And when Bill Maher goes there, I'm welcome to the alt-right.
Joe Rogan does something that, like, we do. I mean, obviously he does it probably a bit better and gets
not better. He's just
he has more people that are listening to it. Like, sometimes he'll think through a problem like out loud, right? Like, he's doing what the rest of us doing, and he's like, all right, I'm just trying to like talk through this, ask questions. Some of my friends said this stuff, so I'm gonna ask like the stupid question that I think my friends are like thinking about too, and like just try to talk my way through, like, well, how does someone like get to this position? Again, I'm not like a huge fan or anything. I don't listen to him all that often, but like that's my understanding of how his podcast goes. It's just get people on, sometimes people who are controversial, or even
Alex
like,
Jones has been on there. I'm a big fan of Alex Jones. I love that guy.
I mean, his shows have been interesting, that's for sure.
He's hilarious. Dude, look, no matter what, he's hilarious. No matter what, he offers an alternative viewpoint. And no matter what, like, he's been on Joe Rogan. So is Larry Sharp. Larry Sharp's been on Joe Rogan.
Larry's been on Joe Rogan.
I'm going to be on Joe Rogan.
Good. Joe kept trying to make him to get Larry to make like jokes about stuff.
I know
the show, and Larry wasn't picking it up.
I think there was a little bit of when the first part of the show, they were kind of talking past each other a little bit, and I can sympathize with that, because you guys, all of you guys out there, have heard me lose my space in my head and like kind of fall apart here every once in a while when I get down with a subject, and it just my brain starts firing. I'm afraid I'm going to start yelling, and I pull back, and then it's like, now what was I talking about? It happens all the time. Right. But keep on.
So you got to like it's tough to engage in a conversation, like even on a radio, right? Like, you got to be focused because you're thinking about like, all right, I want to make these points, and I'm making this argument in my head, and then you're like, wait, what the heck was the person I was talking to saying? I've done that with like guests in X-Men before. Like, I'm thinking about like what the next like question is, and then like, wait, what were they? I know, right?
What is Kevin talking about right now? I want to talk about keep on rocking in the free world, guys. Canada's in the news, bro.
Canada's in the news. All right. What's going on with Canada?
Well, truckers hate roads, according to the CBC. I mean,
well, they're protesting the conditions of the ice roads, right?
Yeah, icy winter conditions is what's going on. Like, the Canadian Broadcasting Company gets $1.2 billion to fund its activities. When they started hearing about this convoy, they immediately started reporting that truckers are protesting the roads. And as a libertarian, I'm like, go truckers, go. And then I'm like, I don't know if that's the whole story, to be honest with you.
No. Doesn't seem like that was completely the story. So what are they talking about?
All right, so they're going to take about, I've been hearing rumors of 50 to 70,000 trucks, guys, going to Ottawa to say, look, your vaccine mandates, take them and put them where the sun does not shine. And the CBC, Canadian Broadcasting Company, is like backfilling for Justin Trudeau, who, guys, Justin Trudeau, there's a rumor going around he may be the son of, no, I'm not going to do that one.
No. Gonna save that for the fake news segment, sir.
All right, we'll have a conversation about who Justin Trudeau may be related to in fake news. But look, the CBC's backfilling for the government response that these guys are fringe lunatics, that there's not a lot of them, and that they're protesting the roads. What they're protesting is the inability to travel into the United States and cross the border without the vaccine pass.
Right. And then they have to be able to have a vaccine to come back in without isolating, because in Canada, a lot of the restrictions in many of the provinces are far more strict than they are even in like New York State right now. And it's been interesting because I know like my wife follows a bunch of like Canadians on Instagram, and like seeing what they have to deal with in terms of like lockdowns and requirements and stuff, it's way stricter than what we have to deal with here.
Look, in Quebec, we've talked about Quebec, bro, but they just passed a rule that if you go into like a Target or a Walmart, you have to have a health health mascot. I don't know. If you don't have a vaccine pass, you can only buy food. I don't even know what they're calling the guy that's got to walk around the store with you, but somebody has to watch you and check what you're buying all the way from when you come into the store and leave the store. I think that's insane.
I had that on my list of things to look up to see whether or not it was fake news or not.
Bro, you know me, man. I'll fire from the hip.
Did you see this in the meme search?
Yes. Well, okay. I will fire from the hip, Kevin.
Yeah, you did.
But I did the research. And it's on Outkick, bro. Outkick verifies their stuff. It's in the New York Times. Was it the New York Times? Yeah,
I'm gonna Google it over the break. We're gonna find out.
You should, and you're gonna be like, "Oh my god, this is real news. This is."
I do want to get to a funny comment though. Jared says, "First time Canada has experienced icy roads." I reckon.
Oh yeah. Ice road truckers.
Yes, sir. No, it's new to them. We got to accelerate that global warming, so never again, they experience the icy roads.
I'm a big fan of global warming. Whoa, did I say that out loud? Look, what I want to be clear about that. The threat of global warming is more for densely populated urban areas on coastal areas than it is for guys living at 1,000 feet up in elevation up in central New York. All right. So our life experience with global warming is different. And guys, I don't know, man, where do our authoritarians go after this? COVID stuff continues to kind of dissolve. Do they pivot right to this climate crisis?
In order to solve the climate crisis, we need to abolish capitalism. That's what it is.
They're well on their way, man. I mean,
actually, so I wanted to get to like a kind of point about the Canadian truckers thing, because like there's the kind of counter argument against is like, hey, listen, this is a small number of Canada's truckers who are making noise about this. And then, the second thing is that like they already have to submit to a whole bunch of other like health and safety, checks and requirements, about, basically the number of hours they can be on the road, substance checks, electronic monitoring of their movements and how long so like is one more thing really that big of a deal?
Yeah, it is that big of a deal, man. I've had it. Like, I feel I'm sympathetic with the truckers, guys. Like, I'm sympathetic with the COVID response, the government response to COVID. A guy in a truck, because look, they get in their truck, they back up. Somebody either loads their trailer, right, or they pick up a trailer. Like, they're not in a lot of contact with people. We're interfering with their ability to make a living. And look, at a time when the supply chain is obviously having issues, like, where do we go from there? All right.
Yeah. Oh, sounds like we got a caller on the line. Todd from Latham, New York. Todd, what's on your mind, sir?
Hey guys, how are you?
Good, Todd. How you doing?
What's up?
Pretty good. Listen, I wanted to bring to your listeners' attention. There was a relatively new policy in effect regarding the New York State Capitol and the Legislative Office Building. I know this is a little bit off of the topic that you were in discussion about, but so apparently there is now a vaccine requirement to enter the New York State Capitol and Legislative Office Building. This rule was put in place on or about January 10th. There's a lot of confusion about it. And I've spent the last couple of days contacting all of the Albany area Assembly and State Senate offices. I've called Phil Steck, Neil Breslin, Jake Ashby, Jim Tedisco. I've called, emailed, and left messages at ABC, NBC, CBS, etc., even with NYPIRG and the New York Civil Liberties Union. The only people to call me back were Phil Steck's office, which called me back today, and Jake Ashby's office, which I just got off the phone with. Now, Assemblyman Jake Ashby is a Republican out of Troy, New York, and their office is telling me that the rule was put in place by Kathy Hochul just prior to a anti-vax rally that took place January 6th, I believe.
Right. Yeah. It looks like I'm just Googling it really quick, and I saw January 5th. This
there
rule
is
came
no
into place,
public comment period. There was no executive order. There is no declared state of emergency. And other than 2 weeks following the 9/11 attacks, the Capitol and legislative office buildings have never been closed.
Have you heard of the HEROES Act, Todd?
Yes.
Okay, so this rule is in direct contradiction to the HEROES Act. I'm wondering how this is going to play out.
It's interesting. All right, well, Todd, appreciate the phone call. We have to head to break now, so thank you for calling in. And if you, listeners, want to call in too, give us a call, 585-346-3000. That's 585-346-3000. Tim and I will be back. More on A Free Solution in just a few minutes. Talk to you soon.
Celebrating 35 years.
WYSL.
AM 1040 Avon Rochester, FM 92.1 Rochester, and FM 95.5 Spencerport.
Here's the latest forecast from the News 10 NBC Weather Center for tonight. Again, Arctic cold moves into the region. Temps drop single digits, wind chill well below zero. Not a lot of snow, but there will be a few flurries, lake flakes out there, a little coating to an inch, just enough for a few slick spots. On Saturday, sun clouds, flurries, light lake flakes, only in the teens for a high. Sunday, the cold eases a bit. There'll be a snow shower or two back into the 20s. I'm Rich Cadelia, WYSL.
Happy 2022 from Victor Chrysler Dodge Jeep Ram, Anthony Drive off Route 96 in Victor. You're good to go for winter in the warmth and safety of America's favorite four-wheel drive vehicles. Like the 21 Jeep Grand Cherokee L Limited 4x4, just $399 a month for 42 months. Must be returning lessee or have Grand Cherokee L Conquest. The 21 Dodge Durango SXT Plus Platinum all-wheel drive SUV, only $379 a month for 36 months. Must have Stellantis loyalty. The 21 Ram 1500 Classic Warlock Quad Cab 4x4 pickup is just $189 a month for 39 months. Must have Stellantis loyalty and be returning lessee. Use 3 Ram coupons while supply lasts. $2,500 cash or trade. First payment DMV. Taxes and fees due at signing. Other conditions may apply. See dealer for details. We're here to fully serve Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, and Ram customers in Victor, Canandaigua, Macedon, Fairport, and throughout the Metro and Finger Lakes. Victor, Chrysler, Dodge, Jeep, Ram, 6560 Anthony Drive in Victor.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Sheriff Thomas Doherty would like to remind us to make sure we are riding our snowmobiles safely this season. Remember your defensive driving skills. Always be alert for potential danger. Watch out for thin ice, unforeseen obstacles under the snow, trees, and branches on the trails. Don't drink and drive your snowmobile. Be especially alert and careful when riding at night and on the ice. Make sure you are dressed properly for the weather and have quality sunglasses to avoid snow blindness. You should have a basic repair kit on hand if the need arises.
Boom, lingerie, boom, ba, negligee, boom, ba, ba, chemise, boom, boom, bustier, ba, 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 corset, boom, ba, not your PJs, for your loved one. because you are one. For yourself, someone else, show a lingerie, because you're human. And it's good to be human at Show World.
Happy Valentine's Day from Show World.
Henrietta, Greece, and Waterloo.
A healthy smile has health benefits beyond just teeth. It's whole body wellness. Don't live with broken, missing, or failing teeth. Lakeview Dental can restore your smile with state-of-the-art dental care. Their approach is providing reliable, comfortable solutions for the long term. Eliminate those endless visits to deal with recurring problems with your teeth. Address your dental concerns once and for all. Find out more at livoniasmiles.com or call 346-3028. Lakeview Dental, for the smile of a healthier you.
As the word tells us that all things are to be done decently and in order, we all have a desire to be more organized. Get Organized has been helping their clients effectively organize their living spaces with custom closets, pantries, garage storage systems, and more for over 30 years. Get Organized can be reached online at www.closetsrochester.com or by phone at 585-223-3646. Get Organized with closetsrochester.com today.
All Seasons Wine and Spirits, East Main Street, Avon, for over half a century with the area's largest selection of New York State wines. Save 10% on a case of wine. You can mix and match. All Seasons Wine and Spirits has all the latest variety of flavored liqueurs. Open daily. All Seasons Wine and Spirits, East Main Street, Avon.
A free solution.
Welcome back to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson here today, joined by Tim, the Freedom Variant O'Connor.
I love that name. I did such a good job. Good job.
Again, folks, we're live here on WYSL until 1 p.m. So give us a call if you want to participate in the show, 585-346-3000. That's 585-346-3000. And shout out the line to our friends listening over at WACK out in Newark. Appreciate y'all listening a little bit later. And, of course, all of our friends listening online, the Free Solution Facebook page, YouTube channel, group, the Tim pages, the Kevin pages, wherever you're listening today. Appreciate y'all.
Yeah.
And just following up real quick from the listener who called in the last segment, Todd, I did find like the Office of General Services like update on that. I'll just read you what it is, right? It says, effective January 10, 2022, the Legislative Office building will be closed until further notice as a necessary precaution in response to the evolving COVID-19 situation. Access to the New York State Capitol will be limited to visitors who are fully vaccinated or visitors who will provide proof of a negative COVID test within the past 48 hours. Proof must be shown along with valid ID. Masks are required at all times, and there'll be limited capacity in the building. And there's a whole bunch of stuff there. I'll post a link to this if you want.
You know what Neil Young would say about this?
Oh, goodness.
Keep on riding in the free world. That's what he'd say. That's what he'd say.
Okay, boomer.
Whoa. Hold on, man. I'm hip. Come on, man.
Lots of Neil Young jokes there. So that's what it is. I don't know if the General Services Office needs to have like a legislative permission to institute a requirement like this. I imagine legislators themselves could override it if they chose to, and they probably just.
Well, the HEROES Act basically made all these rules and regulations for small businesses in New York, and they specifically exempted themselves. So this rule,
they always do.
It's in direct contradiction.
Wait, how does it stand in contradiction to it?
The HEROES Act exempted government officials, members of the Assembly, members of the Senate, all the workers in these government buildings from the requirements of the HEROES Act, which was at that time including masking, vaccinating, yada, 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 blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. So, I don't know. I mean, I suppose they could reimpose the rules on themselves if they wanted. And this is on visitors, too. It's not the actual staff. So, yeah, I don't know. Anyway, I want to spend a whole hour or the rest of this segment talking about that. And it's interesting. But, anything else that we have to talk about with the the Canadian truckers thing. Oh, I did want to get to a comment. That's right. I remember where I was going with this.
Yeah.
Just let me talk it through out loud, guys. So Gene says, I have a CDL. Truckers adhere to a lot of safety regulations already. Every new regulation cuts into the driver's ability to earn a living. Can you imagine if you had to lose a week's worth of income every time you pass the border between Canada and the United States? No wonder they are protesting. Yeah, right. Like if you have to be isolated every time and then you can't like go out and work, right? You're missing job opportunities, especially if you're, someone who's getting paid per job, you're not on a salaried position, and that's how a lot of truckers are. Then yeah, no, that could be a serious threat to your income. So for some of the folks who aren't vaccinated and don't really care to adhere to these regulations, that's that's a big problem.
It is a big problem. We're directly interfering with people's ability to make a living, and it needs to stop.
Yeah.
They're not.
No, not we. The Canadians are doing this. We ain't doing nothing, Tim.
I don't think that's true. I don't think.
Is it the U.S. government too?
I believe that if you're not vaccinated, you can't cross into Canada from the U.S. either. I believe that. I think that's an executive order from our compassionate cat-loving overlord.
Passionate cat-loving overlord.
Yeah, I mean, Joe Biden got a cat, guys. That's big news. These things are important. He was in one of his brainstorming sessions, right? He's like, do we bomb Russia or do I get a cat? And he went with getting a cat. We'll solve our flagging popularity numbers by getting a cat.
You know what? He made the right decision there. Of those two choices, and we always have to narrow things down to two choices. You got to pick one. I think he chose the right one in that situation. Then
it's not often that I agree with him, but I agree with him on this situation too.
Yeah. No, why not? Joe Biden can have a cat. Just hopefully it doesn't stink up the White House. I know. I love cats. I have a cat, but I know some cats can be messy.
I have a couple cats. Teenage daughter loves cats, blah, blah, blah. Comes home with a cat every other day. Used to. I got cats. I don't like
You got cats. You don't like cats.
I got cats. I got dogs. I don't know. I used to have fish. Fish were easy, man. They go away. You buy a new one. The kids don't even notice. They don't even notice.
Well, now the secret's out. Now they're gonna know, Tim.
I'm trying to help you parent. Like I'm offering boomer advice. And first of all, I'm Gen X, by the way. But I'm offering parenting advice to you, Kevin.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate it.
You're welcome.
All right. So what else do we got today?
Well, I do want to talk about this trucker thing a little bit more and say the CBC, the Canadian Broadcasting Company, the $1.2 billion, guys, there's a real problem with government wanting to fund the messaging coming out of the mainstream media. And they're doing it in Canada. And that's a real problem. Okay. They're trying to hide the sheer number of people that are participating in this convoy. People are lining the roads and watching the trucks drive by, and they're having little rallies periodically. And the CBC is actively trying to suppress that information, in my opinion.
You think so? The CDC is?
CBC. CBC. I know, it's confusing. A lot of alphabets out there.
I know. I mean, like I'm seeing other articles from them. They're reporting on it. I'm looking at this. Most of them are like opinion pieces talking about how dumb they are, but or saying like
Justin Trudeau went right on the record, man. What a bunch of like fringe wackos these people are. And it's like, I don't like Justin Trudeau. I'll be honest with you.
No,
I don't think he listens to this show.
He probably doesn't. I think the broadcast does like slightly go like maybe fringe sometimes can pick it up in Canada, but I'm betting he doesn't listen.
He should.
He should, but
he
doesn't. I have no strong opinions on Justin Trudeau because I'll admit I do not pay that close attention to Canadian politics. Like,
all right. Well, sometimes to get his best stuff, you have to check out French TV because that's where he really goes hard. And maybe it's because of the language. I don't know. But that's where he really goes hard after these fringe lunatics, these misogynists, and these racists that don't want to get a vaccine. It goes hard after them.
I know. I mean, it kind of sounds similar to the type of like stereotyping you get in the United States too. Again, the type of folks who aren't getting vaccines aren't necessarily always the picture that you're painting. And I imagine the situation is the same in Canada too, from people who don't trust the government for various reasons. Again, I'd say this is a pro-vaccine person, but I get some folks are skeptical for some legit historical reasons. Some people are skeptical for some less than legit reasons. But probably painting them with a broad brush and calling them all names might not be the most effective way of of trying to convince folks of your side. I don't know.
I know. Hey, so how are we doing on time? Because I feel like we should start. I've got a fake news one I want to throw at you right now because
we got like 2 minutes left.
All right, let's get this one started because this might carry over into the next segment. So some people, and I want to there was a judge that issued a restraining order against what's called Theta Care employees. These people are leaving their jobs. This is a healthcare institution.
I know what you're talking about now.
And so they were prevented by an injunction from a judge to go in and getting a new job. Is that fake news?
No, it's real news.
It is real news, bro.
It's real news. No, and yeah, we can carry on the next segment because that one I almost ended up doing a chunk of another show on this topic because it's bizarre that like these at-will employees, wanted to go and work somewhere else, and a judge is saying like, no, you have to continue working at your previous employer because there's like shortages for this thing, even though that previous employer had plenty of opportunity, had weeks of opportunity to try to win them back with higher pay or other incentives to stay, and then chose to take them to court instead.
All right. I think we covered it. That's good.
All right,
the order's been lifted. Good news, right?
Yeah, sure. All right, so thanks again for joining us here on A Free Solution. When we come back, we'll do some Fake News Friday. Talk to you then.
Why do businesses choose to move their website from Wix and Squarespace to SimpleTech Innovations? Maybe it's their excellent customer service or attention to detail. Maybe it's their ability to give a truly customized solution. Or perhaps they just like the fact that SimpleTech is a local small business that builds great relationships with its clients. Whatever the reason may be, you can rest assured knowing that the local team at SimpleTech has your best interest in mind when building or updating your website. They're hands-on and love helping customers achieve their goals. But don't take my word for it. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. If your website doesn't match your dreams or isn't achieving your goals, give the professionals at SimpleTech Innovations a call today for a consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
Need help with health insurance? The Greece Regional Chamber provides assistance with health insurance for businesses, nonprofits, families, and individuals throughout our region. We pride ourselves on the personalized service that we provide for our clients. Let us help you find health insurance plans that fit your needs and navigate the paperwork. Greece Chamber Benefit Partners, located at 2402 Westridge Road in Rochester, New York, offers a broad range of medical insurance plans for businesses, nonprofits, individuals, and families throughout the greater Rochester Finger Lakes region, working with insurance companies including Excel, Blue Cross Blue Shield, Univera, and MVP Healthcare. We can also help you access insurance plans through the New York State of Health, the official health plan marketplace. Again, you do not need to live or work in Greece to utilize our brokerage services. We serve the greater Rochester Finger Lakes region of New York State. Visit greecechamber.org to sign up for one of our free health insurance information sessions or schedule an appointment with one of our licensed brokers. Call 585-227-7272. 585-227-7272.
Your business relies on computers and technology to operate. Slow, unreliable networks and servers can cause unplanned downtime and affect your bottom line. The experts at SimpleTech Innovations are here to help. Their preventative maintenance program ensures that your computers and network are kept up to date and monitored for any issues, keeping your business running smoothly. They also help clients achieve HIPAA, PCI, and New York State cybersecurity compliance to keep your network safe and secure. Whatever your business IT needs are, SimpleTech Innovations should be your first call. They've won the best in Rochester 8 years in a row and have an A+ Better Business Bureau rating. Call them today for a free consultation at 585-200-3182. That's 585-200-3182. SimpleTech Innovations.
A free solution.
right, it's Fake News Friday. Welcome back to A Free Solution. I'm Kevin Wilson today, joined by Tim, the Freedom Variant O'Connor, and we got some fake news stuff. All right. I mean, do you consider that your turn? Should I go with a fake news item now?
Keep on rocking in the free world, Kevin. You do what you got.
Goodness. All right. Fine, I'll go. I really only have like one thing today because you took the fake news items I was going to use for with the cat ones.
Okay.
The guy I was going to talk about the litter box in the
that was a good
restroom, and that was a good one. Is the fake
so
news,
well
and then
played.
the not meowing back at a student thing, which is fake news.
I'm rating them as plausible. Still, we can deny it.
Doesn't
They
matter if
can
it's
fact
plausible.
check.
They admitted like that with the teacher thing, like it was basically a stunt to see like how it would go viral, and boy, how'd he did it.
And it's great.
Yeah, but anyway, my fake news items for today, those so real news or fake news. Fight Club gets a new ending in China. Real news or fake news?
Oh yeah, no, the Chinese. I don't want to be right all the time, but I'm telling you, the Chinese have to control every piece of messaging that goes out to their general populace. So yes, that's got to be real news.
Real news. Yeah, I mean that one's almost too obvious because like of course they are, because like it already happens to a bunch of movies, like American movies. They change the ending, they change scenes, like all sorts of stuff. So like it's clean and sanitized for China. Yeah, they changed the ending of Fight Club. Like I won't spoil the ending of this 22-year-old movie for you if you haven't seen it, but at the end, like when you kind of the mystery, the tension is resolved, and then like they're about to go through with their plot, right? Have you seen Fight Club?
I have, yes.
Yeah, so they're trying to blow up the buildings at the end, and then
his name was Robert Paulson.
That's right. Oh, R.I.P. Meatloaf.
Yep.
But in the Chinese version, like instead of like what happens, like it just goes to a cut screen. It says, through the clue provided by Tyler, the police rapidly figured out the whole plan and arrested all the criminals, successfully preventing the bomb from exploding.
That's got to be fake news. That part of it.
It is.
Oh,
that's
no,
legit. It's real.
Oh, okay. All right.
No, they did. Then they're like, right at the end, instead of like cutting to like the actual ending, they're like, and the police caught him. Hooray! Yay, police!
Yeah,
well,
we love the police, man. All right.
Yeah,
so
that's
amazing. The CCP, they're totally pros at this, bro.
Right. Like, yeah, it's on like, one of their like major video streaming services over there. But like the movie's been around forever, and it's like been in China for a while. So like a lot of like Chinese citizens are like, wait, what? No, that's not how that goes. That's not how it ends. Like, why?
Well,
but like it's too subversive to suggest that the police wouldn't catch these criminals.
True.
So, like, of course the police would do that, even though it's taking place in America. Like, I don't know why it would be like a big deal to say the American police couldn't catch it to the Chinese Communist Party. I don't know.
Oh, yeah, that could be too. Like the Chinese Communist. People do like. No, I'm not going down that road, man. People do like the police, though.
Well, sure, but yeah, like it's so subversive, the idea that the police wouldn't catch someone in the United States in this fake movie, that they had to change the ending, and then they're like, and then he got mental health help, and then he left, and that's how. Like, I'm serious about the last part. Then too,
reprogrammed him.
Says he was sent to a lunatic asylum, receiving psychological treatment, and he was discharged from the hospital in 2012. That's the full ending. Like, it just ends with that.
That's crazy. All right, so I got one for you. This is a quick test. Let's see if you're keeping up with it. This one is not breaking all over mainstream news, to be sure, but White House, as a matter of national security, Kevin, the White House wants crypto rules as a matter of national security. Fake news, real news? What do you think?
My gut says real news, because that seems like something that the government would say. It's like, oh, it's for safety. No other reason at all.
Yeah.
Safety.
Well, apparently the Russians are going to mine the last Bitcoin. So what has to happen now is we need a centralized agency to set up rules about cryptocurrencies as a matter, guys, of national security. This doesn't have anything to do with taxes or control, or perhaps making cryptocurrencies somewhat tenuously less legal. They have nothing to do with any of that. This is designed to look holistically, guys. Holistically is a great word. When you see that in an article, you know you're on the right track. At digital assets and develop a set of policies that give coherency to what the government is trying to do in this space. And what the government is trying to do in this space is get their hands on some of that money, fellas. That's the reality. And this, I'm referring to a Barron's article, okay? If I dated January 27th, 2022.
Wait,
And it's
so
authored.
are they actually doing anything, or are they commissioning a study to figure out what they might
All right.
eventually want to do?
The White House National Security Council would all. I'm not going to answer that question. That's too complicated. He has put out a demand or an executive request that the State Department, the Treasury Department, the National Economic Council, the Council of Economic Advisors, and the White House National Security Council are all going to be involved in this crypto. I want to call it crypto rules, but that's obviously crypto regulation. And this is the reason why, is since crypto has economic implications for national security. It's not, they want to get their hands on your
Maybe,
money.
right? Like if more people are investing in it and crypto crashes and it impacts the economy, and someone is behind that crash, right? Like if there's a coordinated effort from China and Russia, does the U.S. have any obligation to think of ways to mitigate that? My answer is still no, but like they're going to spend a bunch of money asking that question.
Yeah. So from this article again, too, along those lines, the administration would instruct agencies to work on, because this sounds like to me straight out of the Chinese Communist Party, but okay, along those lines, the administration would instruct agencies to work on harmonizing. There we go. Sorry, I blew that word. Harmonizing regulations of digital assets between countries. I'm not worried at all. You guys, and look, I have warned on several occasions, I want to be clear about this, that people who have been successful in Bitcoin should have been buying politicians much sooner than now. And now you guys got no choice. You're going to have to buy. I'm like the buy high, sell low guy. So good luck to the rest of you guys that made money on it.
Yeah,
but buy politicians. Larry Sharp.
Oh no, not for sale.
Well, not that way, but like donate to freedom-loving individuals who see the value of having an alternative currency.
It's going to be fun watching you dig your way out of that hole. Good job. Nice job, Tim.
I got it, man. I'm there. Larry has some creative ideas, and everybody knows that. And so while I joke about buying politicians, I think that if you have been successful in the crypto markets, that a great way to further your success and further freedom is to invest in guys like Larry Sharp and Tim O'Connor. The freedom variant can always use a couple bucks, right? Like that's real.
Yeah. All right. Do you have any more? Because otherwise, I'm gonna.
Yes,
okay.
I do.
Well, I mean, I could go with. I did find one that I could talk about. It's
all right. Maybe we'll collaborate
stupid,
here.
But...
This one is great. All right. So look, it's a fact, right? That there was a CDC monkey crash in Danville, Pennsylvania. Now, where we are wondering, apparently, the woman involved in stopping to help the person that was in the crash has developed symptoms of, symptoms of a disease. Are we headed for another pandemic here, bud?
I just assume this is probably the start of the zombie outbreak. That's how 2022 kicks off.
That's kind of what I've been. I don't want to say hoping for, but preparing for. Preparing for. Okay,
preparing for. There we go.
Yeah,
it's zombie time. That's how it goes.
Yeah, I watch a Walking Dead, and I'm like, some of these things that they do, they could do better. They could be more successful, right? Like they're a little bit too emotional for me. They could come up with better plans to protect themselves. Yeah, that's a reality.
Trust Tim with your post-apocalyptic plans. That's what he's saying.
I'm here for you guys. I am totally here for you. So is that real news or fake news? We've got a sick lady from the monkeys. One of the monkeys may have even spit at her.
Yeah, no, I saw that. It is real that she got sick. I mean, I think there's concern about some disease. It could have been rabies or something. But...
The CDC denies that she had gotten any kind of infection from the monkeys. They deny it.
That was fake. Or it's fake, or they deny it.
They deny it. You guys might have heard me talk about plausible deniability on Wednesday, where the CDC denies, in air quotes, that she got infected from the monkeys.
Yeah. Oh man. So I read. I was gonna I was going to ask if you thought if Disney was changing Minnie Mouse's wardrobe in order to destroy the patriarchy. That was real news.
We've got to destroy this patriarchy no matter what. So that is absolutely real news, and it's unfortunate that they frame everything.
I don't think that they like they did it for like we're gonna leave it hanging because what is that? Was that why they're changing the wardrobe? We'll never know. Fake News Friday is over. Have a good weekend, guys.
Man, they're not going to be able to sleep.